Good Tuesday, everyone. I'm Cyrus Webb, and welcome to Conversation Daily News. Glad you all could be with us. We, of course, have your news headlines coming up on this Tuesday. We have a message from my book, Words I Choose to Live By, and in today's Entertainment Spotlight, you provide our conversation with author Julia A. Nicholson discussing her new book, Move Forward Stronger, a dynamic framework to process change, loss, and grief. Enjoy today's broadcast. For Conversation Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with their Tuesday headlines. In international news, Moscow says Ukrainian rocket strike kills 63 Russian soldiers. Ukrainian forces fired rockets at a facility in the eastern Donetsk region where Russian soldiers were stationed, killing 63 of them, Russia's defense ministry said on Monday, in one of the deadliest attacks on the Kremlin's forces since the war began more than 10 months ago. Ukrainian forces fired 6 rockets from a launch system, and 2 of them were struck down, the defense ministry statement said. It did not say when the strike happened. The strike, using a U.S. supply precision weapon that has proven critical in enabling Ukrainian forces to hit key targets, delivered a new setback for Russia, which in recent months has reeled from a Ukrainian counteroffensive. According to the governor of Russia's Samaria region, an unspecified number of residents of the region were among those killed and wounded by the strike. Russian military bloggers, whose information has largely been reliable during the war, said ammunition stored close to the facility had exploded in the attack and contributed to the high number of casualties. Expressing anger at the losses, an official with the Russian-appointed administration in Russian-occupied Donetsk called for the punishment of military officers who ordered a large number of troops to be stationed at the facility. The Ukrainian military appeared to acknowledge the attack on Monday, with the general staff confirming that the area was hit on December 31st and saying 10 Russian military vehicles were destroyed or damaged. It added that Russian personnel losses were still being clarified. In a claim that could not be independently verified, the Strategic Communications Directorate of Ukraine's armed forces had maintained Sunday that some 400 mobilized Russian soldiers were killed in a vocational school building. About 300 more were said to be wounded. The Russian statement said the strike occurred in the middle of the area and didn't mention the vocational school. Russia has carried out airstrikes on Ukrainian power and water supplies almost weekly since October. Ukrainian President Zelensky has accused Russia of energy terrorism as the aerial bombardments have left many people without heat amid freezing temperatures. Ukrainian officials say Moscow is weaponizing winter in its effort to demoralize the Ukrainian resistance. In national news, NYC machete attack, man arrested on attempted murder charges. A man accused of attacking police with a machete near New York's Times Square on New Year's Eve was arrested on charges of attempting to murder police officers, authorities said on Monday, as they continue to investigate whether he was motivated by Islamic terrorism. The individual, who Conversations Daily News is not naming, was 19, also faces attempted assault charges from the attack that injured 2 officers at the edge of the high-security zone where throngs of New Year's revelers were gathered, the New York Police Department said in a news release. In more national news, Jeremy Renner seriously injured while plowing snow in Nevada. The Avengers star Jeremy Renner was seriously injured while plowing snow in Nevada and is in critical condition. Authorities said the actor's representative haven't said how the accident occurred, but the Nevada Sheriff's Office said late Sunday that Renner had to be flown by helicopter to a hospital for treatment. Renner, 51, is in critical condition, although he is stable, the actor's representative said. No further details on the extent of Renner's injuries were available to the Associated Press. In more national news, Idaho slaying suspect's family voices sympathy for the victims. Relatives of a man arrested in Pennsylvania in the slayings of 4 University of Idaho students expressed sympathy for the victims' families, but also vowed to support him and promote his presumption as innocence. The suspect, which Conversations Daily News is not naming, is 28, is eager to be exonerated and plans to tell a judge today in Pennsylvania that he will not fight extradition to Idaho, said his public defender. The suspect is a doctoral student and teaching assistant in the Department of Criminal Justice and Criminology at Washington State University and was taken into custody early on Friday by state police at his parents' home in eastern Pennsylvania. And finally, in business news, S&P 500 closes out dismal year with worst loss since 2008. Wall Street capped a quiet day of trading with more losses at the end of 2022 as it closed the book on the worst year for the S&P 500 since 2008. The benchmark index finished with a loss of 19% for 2022, or 18% including dividends. It's just its third annual decline since the financial crisis 14 years ago, and a painful reversal for investors after the S&P 500 notched a gain of nearly 27% in 2021. The Nasdaq Composite, with a heavy component of technology stocks, racked up an even bigger loss of 33%. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, meanwhile, posted an 8.8% loss for 2022. Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. It's now time for a message from my book, Words I Choose to Live By. Enjoy. Good Tuesday, everyone, and welcome to today's episode of Words I Choose to Live By from page 2 of my book, Words I Choose to Live By. Do not allow fear to stop you from achieving something great today. The Creator of all things has entrusted you with the power to change the world. Do not be afraid to use it. Have an amazing Tuesday. We are part of my conversation coming up with Julia A. Nicholson in today's Entertainment Spotlight. Stay with us. You're listening to Conversations Daily News. For Conversations Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with Entertainment Spotlight. Author Julia A. Nicholson joined me on Conversations Live, the radio show, to talk about her new book, Move Forward Stronger, a dynamic framework to process change, loss, and grief. Here's a bit of our conversation.
The book is definitely timely. You and I were just talking about that before we went on the air here. But I think all of us have gone through something, right? Whether we're talking about the loss of a job, the loss of a loved one, or a loss of an experience. And what you've been able to do in this book, from me as a reader, Julia, is really show us how a lot of this has to do with our perspective. As you talk about a lot in the book, the framework. What has it been like for you to kind of share this framework with others and to see the response to it?
No, it has been more overwhelming than I ever anticipated. When I first started sharing it, the reaction from people that instantly leaned in and with tears in their eyes would walk up to me and share with me what a difference this framework has made for them. Some of them even revealing their most private stories that they haven't shared with anyone else, and just honored and humbled that they would trust me with that, and that they would share with me that what they heard actually made a difference for them, even just sitting in the room when they were listening to the framework and how to apply it. So just the fact that it's so usable and relatable for everyone that I've spoken with, no matter what has happened in their life, no matter what experience they've had, and no matter how long ago. And I mean, I've even had some people say it's been 4 years, 5 years, 6 years since something traumatic happened in their life, and this is the first time that they actually had hope that this is something that might be able for them to be able to use to move forward and move forward stronger.
Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. We thank you all for tuning into this edition of Conversations Daily News. We're about to get on tomorrow with more news, message from my book, Words I Choose to Live By, and of course, your Entertainment Spotlight. Until then, I'm our host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Daily News today. Now let's go make it a good one.